Well, welcome everybody to the May meeting of the Detroit area woodturners. And it's been a very busy month, and it seems to be getting busier all the time. But the good news is it's looking like we could be opening it up in the next couple months here in Michigan, which is a great thing. So I've got some things we're going to talk about later on that leans towards that. And so I'm excited. It feels good. So to start off with, do we have any guests or new members? If you could unmute yourself and make yourself known and tell us a little bit about yourself. Anybody? Okay. Next item, Ron Campbell's retreat. Looks like we got a pretty good contingent from the club going, which I find very exciting. I'm really looking forward to it since I missed it last year. And been talking a lot with Ron, and he's getting excited. And, you know, we'll all be outdoors, which is great. So that's coming up June 10th, 11th, and 12th. I think, I'm not sure, you can check with his Facebook page, but I think all the registrations are full now. I'm not certain. There's a couple hotel rooms left.
I'm not sure. The note I saw this morning said they're getting close to capacity, which means... Oh,
okay, there might be a few open. And I think there's like 2 or 3 rooms left at the American. Is that it? Anyways, yeah, I'm looking forward to that. It's going to be exciting. And it'll be great seeing a lot of my fellow club mates there too. We continue looking for volunteers for our workshops, which are generally with Zoom the Saturday after our meetings. We've got a lot of the workshops filled, but we still need more. So if you would like to do that and you're interested in it, you can contact me and I can talk to you about it. As we said many times before, Chuck can come to your shop and do the filming for you. So all you got to do is concentrate on your demo. And don't worry about it if it's anything that you thought we might have done before. Everybody's got a different take on things. So we're always interested. So if you can help us out with that, that would be great. We're also talking to our people that are doing demos throughout the rest of the year to see if they will do a workshop the following weekend covering stuff they did in their demo. We used to do this many years ago, and you know, it doesn't always work with the person's schedule, but if it does and they can do it, that's great. It just helps enforce what we've learned the previous Sunday. So if you can help us out with that, let us know. Big news. This is the big announcement of the meeting. We are going to have a club picnic. So we didn't have one last year, but we're going to have it this year. It's going to be at Chuck Labato's house, and it's going to be in place of our meeting in August, which I believe is, where's my notes at here? August 15th. So we'll be having a picnic. And as we get closer to that, we'll have more information about it. The search is still on for a new home. Steve Rohr and I, we've looked at one place way out in Commerce Township, and it's a good location. It's going to have everything we need if we can work out details with them. The downside of it is it's a long drive for some of the people, so it's kind of lower on the list for that reason. But if it's all we end up with, then that's something we'll have to do. Steve Rohr and I,
Jeff, where was the place in Commerce you looked at?
It's Multi Lakes Conservation Center. Is that it?
Conservation Club.
Conservation Club, yeah.
Okay, cool. Yeah, yeah.
Really cool facility. Really cool facility.
It is.
I was a member there for a couple of years. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, the room we would use for our meeting can hold about 300 people. It's amazing. And the board is interested in having us there, and it would be the same thing that at PCAC. We would have to build a shop in their pole barn, which is not out of the question. We looked at the area where we would do that at. So that's one place that is on the list. Steve Rohr and I actually went and did a tour of the church next door to the Pontiac Creative Arts Center. And that has potential. The lady who is buying it is going to be closing on it in June. And she used to be part of the Arts Center, and she felt very bad about the situation that happened that got us out of there. So she is offering that to us, and we'd have to negotiate with her, but she can't talk about it until she closes in July. The downside of it is she has no idea what she wants to do with the building. She said she may turn the basement into an apartment for her. She's one of these people that she must have a lot of money because she just goes out and buys buildings. And some of them she flips, some of them she hasn't done anything with. She's actually looking at the old Salvation Army building up at the end of the street from PCAC. So that's got Steve and I a little nervous. But when I talked to her, she was thinking on getting it rezoned as for like a community center, and which means she could leave the auditorium in place with all the seats, and we would have our area up front to do our demos from. We'd have comfortable padded seats for everybody. It's theatrical seating. And we have a room off to the side where we can store the lathe and the TV. So that has potential there too. But again, we're not going to know anything until we can start talking to her in June. In the meantime, I'm going to keep in contact with her. I'm also looking at 2 churches, one in Huntington Woods and one in Pontiac. And actually the one in Pontiac, John Dizelle turned me on to. And the pastor there is the former pastor of my church. So we had a good long conversation the other day, and I'm talking with them on Monday, and they have a very large meeting facility. The question is whether they have storage or not. In the case of the churches, and including the one next to PCAC, is there, there's probably not going to be space for a shop. We don't know yet, but it's something that we have to discuss with them. I think it's boiling down to we're going to have to get a meeting area and then work on getting a shop area separate. I don't think there's going to be any way around that. Nothing else is being brought to my attention. So that's what we're working on right now. And I'm hoping in the next 2 weeks to look at these 2 churches and get that out of the way. And hopefully something good will come out of it. I want to move forward and get a place secured, even if it is just a meeting place. So again, if you know of anything and you can get me contact info, please do that and let me know, and I will contact them and see what we can do. Let's see here. The wood turning swap meet.
Jeff?
Yes.
On that picnic, could you let people know? Well, I guess I'm letting them know now. If you want to partake in helping out with something, to get a hold of me on the picnic. You want to volunteer to do something that would help.
What I'll do also is I always send out a email after our meeting, kind of a highlight, and I'll put that in there.
Okay, great. Thanks.
Do we bring a dish?
Yes.
Yes. The club in the past, and correct me if I'm wrong, the club generally provided the meat, like hamburgers and brats, and the soda, and then everybody brings a dish to pass around.
That is correct.
And we've always had wonderful food.
Are we making, like, is there like a sign-up list for dishes, or do we just bring whatever we want?
We should probably.
You just bring whatever you want. That's what we did last time.
Yeah.
There's a wide array of stuff that comes. So.
Right.
And we never got a lot of one thing like you do sometimes at the potlucks. So it's always been a good choice of food and wonderful food.
Right.
So, yeah. And as I said, as we get closer, we're going to have more information and details figured out. But Cindy's got a checklist that she got from the previous person who handled the picnics. And, if there's anything you can help with or think you can help with, just contact Cindy and she'll let you know if it's on the list. And if you can, and she'll put you on the list. So,
Jeff, if I convert that to an Excel spreadsheet or Google Doc, is that something we can edit on the website under the members area?
Only Henry can answer that. I don't know.
We'll talk about it after, Henry. We don't have to do it now.
Is it going to be a turnathon?
That's the plan. Just like a regular turnathon picnic. So we'll have to figure out what the competition's going to be.
Awesome. Sign me up.
Okay.
Me too.
And then
It's
Paul
good times.
Newberger, who is not in picture right now, usually handles the turnathon part.
Yeah, he's always done a great job with that.
Yep, I want guards on the power cords this year.
What was that?
I want guards on the power cords so nobody unplugs my lathe while I'm turning.
Oh, were you on the losing team?
No.
Again,
For those of you who never been to one of these, it's a lot of fun. We have a competition between two teams on two lathes, and it's always a lot of fun and a lot of ribbing and good times. So anyways, like I said, more information as we get closer, but we are going to have a picnic, which I'm very happy to announce. So, okay.
And Matt, you can't cry anymore.
I'm going to throw shavings at you while I'm turning, Paul.
Oh boy, it's starting already. We haven't even got the 10 up yet. Okay, Ken Kernicki has been working extensively in the background with Starkweather Gallery. They want to do a DAW gallery exhibit. So this will be this is going to be a good time. It's going to be at the Starkweather Gallery in Romeo. And they're still working out a lot of details on it, but the plan is to have final details worked out and the application form out to you guys in the next week to 2 weeks at the latest. So right now we're looking at Sunday, September 26th is the drop-off at the Starkweather Gallery. And as we get closer, if you find that you can't get to Starkweather on that day to drop off the stuff that you're going to enter, let me know and we'll figure out how to get it out there for you. The gallery is going to run from October 1st through October 31st. And then the pickup will be the 31st from the gallery. And what is it that we call the party? My brain is just going blank today. Anyways, our party for it will be on October 1st.
opening.
Is it jury?
Opening night.
It's a juried art fair, yeah. Oh, and the classifications are going to be wood turning, wood carving, and flatboard work. We're going to include the flatboard workers for those. We're covering everything woodworking. That'll be clarified when we get the rules and the forms out. Any questions?
What is flatboard?
Flatboard, people who make boxes and things like that, furniture, things like that. We call them flatboard workers. That's what us turners call them, but traditional woodworking, I guess, is the term. So if you got any questions, contact Ken Kernicki. He can answer them for you to the best of his ability right now. He is not here today because he's attending a fundraiser, but he has been working all weekend with them and hopes to have something for me by mid to late this week. And like I said, as soon as that comes out, I'll get it out to you.
Hey,
And
Jeff, are we going to have a black tie party too?
yes, October 1st will be the party, the opening. That's the plan right now. So.
It's probably coordinated with when they have the Romeo Festival too, and all the stuff going on in downtown Romeo.
The art festival, yeah.
The art walk and stuff.
Art walk, yeah. And there's a little tiny bar right next door to the Starkweather Gallery that if you've never been to it, amazing food. You know, we tried to get into our favorite place, which is the Irish pub, and we couldn't get into it that night. And so we found that, and really good food. So anyways, that's down the road.
They have great karaoke that goes till 1 in the morning. I don't know how I know that.
If you like that. So anyways, if you got questions, contact Ken. And you can find his contact information in the members only section of our website. Just a reminder, we're going to have a 10-minute question and answer period at the end of the meeting. So if you got questions about turning or anything that you need one of us to help you with, that's the time we'll cover it. So let's see here. That's all I got on my notes and announcements. Does anybody have any announcements or anything they like to make?
You wanted me to do a financial report?
Oh, yes. Yes, I totally forgot about that. I don't know why I didn't put it on it. Let me clarify that to everybody. One of the things that we have not done in our general membership meetings that I have been involved, every club I've ever been involved in does, and other wood turning clubs do, is give you a treasurer's report to let you know how the club is doing and financially. So we decided we're going to start with this meeting. So I'm going to let Chuck take over, and he's going to give you the treasurer's report. And then when he's done with that, it's going to be just, we'll be covering Robert's Rules of Orders. We'll be asking for a motion to approve and second and so on.
Thank you, Jeff.
Mm-hmm.
So here we go. So can you see the financials?
Yes.
So this year so far we've collected about $2,490 in dues and a total of $2,560. This is January through April 30th for dues. Here's the stuff we spent. So we have the bank charges are the PayPal fees. The demo fees were John Jordan and I can't remember now. I remember the other day. Sorry. The other professional we had.
Carl Jacobson.
Thank you.
Carl.
Thank you, Cindy. We bought $100 for a door price purchase, which you guys are, which is the Steady Rest. Food and beverages for the move. When the guys were moving, the guys and girls were moving everything. We've paid our insurance to the AEW and Hartford already this year. I'll have to figure out what the meeting, I don't remember what the meeting expenses are, but the moving costs and storage were so far have been our biggest expense at $1,183.43. So we've spent $2745.07. So we are currently down $185.07. This number will keep going down during the year because we're not going to start collecting dues in bulk again until November. And this was kind of a strange year for dues. Usually dues are about $4,000, but last year we collected more dues in fall than we did after the first of the year because of the PayPal. So we collected a majority of our dues in advance of the year. So it'll stabilize out over the next couple of years. And then what we got in the bank. So we have $11,746.53 in our checking account. Our PayPal account's got $3,944.43 in it. There's no amount for the scholarship fund in here, but about $2,000 in change. We keep a spreadsheet of it. Of the DAW checking is actually set aside for our scholarship fund, which is not the scholarship fund the members get, but it's for we use it for when we do training events for when we were doing like the when the youth would come to the art center, we would spend it out of their money. That's what the money was given for. So we're looking pretty good. Any questions? Oh, sorry. Do Robert's rules. I apologize.
Okay.
Thank you.
You want me to keep screen sharing?
Yeah, for a second. So do we have a motion to approve?
Motion.
That was who?
Second.
Cindy.
Cindy and
Seconded.
Matt, that was seconded. Okay. All in favor? Oh, well, we're not live, so moved.
Well, you're supposed to do discussion.
Oh, that's right. Boy, I'm out of practice. Any discussion on it? Any questions or anything? Remember to unmute your mic.
Yeah, Chuck,
Yes, sir.
it's Paul. Is there any way that PayPal, I know when I used to have, my business and, we took credit cards, sometimes there's a lot of negotiation and wiggle room in there for the charges.
With PayPal?
Yeah.
I can ask, but they were when you don't talk to anybody anymore. You just go online and
Yeah.
But I can see.
Yeah, because I got mine from 2.5% down to 1.65.
Oh, ours is way below 2.5.
Yeah. They just changed a lot of their policies too. PayPal's not like it was a few years ago. They are much stricter about things. Like Chuck said, it's very hard to get a hold of somebody. I've had a few times where I've been very persistent and talked with somebody, but everything's logarithms now. You know?
Yeah, it's 1.75, I think, is what we're paying.
Well, that's not too bad.
No, we got a very good price on
Got
that.
a good rate, yeah.
That's why I was so hot to get going with PayPal for our dues renewals. It just made it a lot easier for everybody.
Yeah, it's a lot easier to do it online, I think, and you don't worry about losing checks and stuff like that. You got records.
Exactly, and we had a lot of that over the last couple of years. So, and then
all the checks made out to somebody's name too, instead of DAW that we had to send back and things like that. So
yeah. So it corrects a lot of issues.
Yep, and it integrates right with the accounting software, so I just have to sync it.
Yeah. So, okay. Any other discussion? Okay. The treasurer's report is accepted. Thank you, Chuck.
You're welcome.
And if we could highlight Mark, it's time for our demo. And Mark will also be doing the workshop next Saturday, and he'll be ready to cover. If you can log in from your shop, he'll be ready to cover any questions you have about what he's demoing today.
I do not see Mark Wallace in the list.
He was. I was going to say he.
I'm here. I'm seeing you.
So.
Okay, you're highlighted, Mark.
It's all yours, Mark.
Hey Jeff, do you want to make him a co-host so he can share screen if he wants to?
Oh gosh, that's good.
I don't have anything to share screen with. I'm not hooking up the computer. I don't need it.
Oh, okay.
All right.
Very good.
So I have my friend Tim here, and he's going to be holding my camera, and we're going to try to show you some of this. Now I got to figure out how to change the camera.
Yeah, there we are.
Okay.
So Tim is the human tripod.
Tim's the human tripod. So what we're trying, one of the, I took a class with Chris Parker and Matt Harbour to do the texturing. So I learned how to do this. So what I've got today is I've got a bowl that has been previously turned, and I started to spraying it with yellow, and then I applied black Gilders cream to it, and the yellow turned into this different color. So I'm going to show you how to do that today, and then a couple other ways. So here are some other bowls that I've done. You see? Can they see these?
Oh, totally. Yep.
So on this one, I used black. On this one, I used the canary yellow Gilders cream. And on these, I used liming wax. And I haven't. So that's what we're going to do first, is show you how to apply the Gilders cream. So we'll come over to.
Hey, Mark, could you quickly talk about,
speak up.
Mark, could you talk about your suppliers? Who makes the creams and the waxes?
Okay, this Gilders cream that I'm using, I got from Craft Supply, out in Provo. It is it's called Gilders Paste Wax, and it's by gilderspaste.com. You want to look at the...
There
you go.
And the liming wax, I got that from Woodcraft. So with this stuff, you want to put on your gloves because you never know where it's going to go.
You need to put a coat on?
No, I don't think so. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to apply it with a piece of paper towel. And
kind of like shoe polish.
Yeah, it's kind of like shoe polish, and you're just gonna, you might want to get over here more. Or, so what we want to do is you want to work it into all of the cracks. So in essence, we're going to turn it all black.
I could see how you'd want to wear gloves.
Oh yeah, definitely want to wear gloves. So it just takes time to work it into all the nooks and crannies. Because
Hey, Mark,
what we're going to be, what?
Mark, this is Cindy. Do you put any kind of sealer, wood sealer on the wood before you do that?
I have on some. I didn't do it on this one. And the wood sealer that I was using the 50-50 denatured alcohol and the Zinsser seal coat that Alfred was showing everybody how to use. That's typically what I use for the sanding sealer. So you just have to keep rubbing it in until you get everything in. And I'm applying it with paper towel, but I'm not going to take it off with paper towel because paper towel rips and gets stuck in the grooves. So what I do is I take a piece of old t-shirt material and just fold it up. I'm going to do this at about 500. So now what we're going to do is just start rubbing it off. And I found, using the cloth, I'm able to get more of the Gilders paste off, and I get a cleaner finish on the rest of the piece than when I'm using paper towel. So you can see that there's a difference from the back that I've worked real hard to get off versus the front. So I just need to take more off and so you just keep going until, it doesn't come off anymore. And that way, you're taking it off the surface, but it's still embedded in the grooves.
Hey, Mark, are you using the cloth dry or are you putting any oil on it?
I'm using it dry.
Okay.
And it's just an old t-shirt that I cut up. Just a polyester cotton t-shirt. So you can see, can you get around here, Tim? So you can see how it has highlighted it.
Yeah, pretty nice.
So that's this project. Now the next one that we want to do.
Hey, Mark.
Yes.
This is Jeff. I was doing some admin work here off to the side, but when you get that onto the platter, is there any kind of finish you got to put over it, or that's it?
I'm going to then take, right now I've got deft, but,
okay.
Lacquer.
Okay.
So, I've got some Mohawk here, and so I'm just going to spray it with lacquer to preserve the, so this one has lacquer sprayed over it to protect it.
Okay. Thank you.
Mark,
Yes?
also, how important is it to get a perfectly clean finish by sanding, so then you don't have any tear outs, so it won't show, so the liming wax or whatever you're using doesn't go in there, and you get the clean texturing. That's where all the coloring will be.
Yeah, I think it's important to have a uniform, pattern. I did to that one. Those down there I did to 240. I think I did this one to 400. But yeah, you really want to have a nice, clean, smooth finish, just like anything else where you're applying, color, because the scratches are going to show up. And what we're trying to do is put in specific scratches to highlight them. We don't want the sanding scratches. So yes, it is important to take the time to get a good quality finish.
Thank you.
The next one that I'm going to show you how to do is this type of a finish. And here's two different platters that I've done. One, I put some metal leaf in, gold metal leaf in the center, and this one I've painted it and sanded it back. And I'm going to take this to Ron Campbell's, and that guy that's got that 24 karat gold, I want to try putting it on here, because they say that the 24 karat stuff is much brighter and shinier. So I want to compare it to what the cheap metal stuff is. So what we're going to do is, being that I'm just going to spray it on here. But being that I am in a small area, you need to have some place where you don't mind the place getting messy. So I bought this portable
tent
that it pretty well fits in here. This is why I need a tent. I couldn't do this myself.
That's kind of cool. Look at that.
So what I'm going to do, what you do is you place this in here, and you're going to get spray off everywhere else.
As we see, that has occurred already.
Right. So now what I'm going to spray on is this Chromacraft Web FX. And it comes in 4 or 5 different colors. There's this cobalt blue, there's black, I think there's a red maroon, and there's a couple other colors. So this has, it reminds me of that old silly string that you used to get as a carry around, because it comes out pretty much the same. And what we have to do is you have to shake it up, obviously. And that's why you want to do it in an area, because you're going to get overspray. You want to come?
Yep.
Because I'm going to. So okay. Can you see what I'm just starting over here? Mm-hmm. And
look at that! Yeah.
So that's pretty much. And you can do it as much. See, and I got a little more globby right in here than I wanted, but
I think it looked kind of cool.
Right, so you just sort of overspray it, and then let it dry, and then I will overcoat this with lacquer also.
Where do you get the Chromacraft Web X spray?
Yeah, that was Chromacraft FX, Web FX, and I got this from Packard Woodworks. The mail order.
I think Woodcraft is also selling it.
Are they? I'm not sure.
Yep.
And I know I got this from Packard.
Nick Eager sells it direct.
Yeah. Hey, Mark, are you applying that direct on the wood?
I had previously, because this is walnut, and you can see I got a bunch of overspray that I got to take care of. So I painted it white, or this was actually heirloom white, and then, yes, it's directly on the wood.
Okay.
Mark, do you have to wait? Like, how long do you have to wait?
Yeah, you have to wait. See?
No. I mean, like, how long do you have to wait for lacquer before you lacquer it?
I typically wait a day, let the stuff really dry.
Okay.
Because
I've had trouble with lacquer with the gilding pastes, I know.
That's been my policy too, is wait 24 hours. But some of the embellishing creams will dry out, so you want to hit them with lacquer before they do that. Like if you let them dry for a week, that might be too much.
So the next one that we're going to try, you see, I'm still a member of the Funnel Club. So I've done a couple of these. Here's a red one and a blue one. And here's the orange one. What we're going to do is, these are poplar. This one's cherry. So I've sanded this to 240, and what I'm going to do now is I just got Rust-Oleum paint. This happens to be real orange gloss, and then I got this crinkle effect spray paint. I got this at Home Depot. This came off of Amazon, and it's 400 milliliters. It's by Montana, Crinkle Effect Spray. The brand is Montana Cans, and I think this can was about $11. I don't remember for sure, but I got it. I went on the internet and found it on Amazon, and so that's what we use. So
you can order that at Lowe's on their online account. They carry the crackle.
That's what I did, Cindy. Thank you. I went to Lowe's on their website, ordered it, and it came in to my store. I went and picked it up. But yeah, you're right. That's what I ended up. I guess I didn't buy it at.
That explains why I can't find it on Amazon.
Yeah, I found it at Lowe's, and I ordered it special order from Lowe's, and it took a week or so to come in.
Most hobby stores also carry some form of crackle applique material. Like I know Joann's has a crackle that you paint on. I know that Hobby Lobby does. I know that Michael's does. So,
yeah, Krylon used to make one, but I couldn't find it when I was searching for it. And the crackle stuff that I found at the fabric craft stores, it was a paint on with a brush versus a spray can.
Yep. Yes.
Yeah.
It's paint. Yeah, it's liquid. You're right.
So now I'm just doing the old shaky routine. And one of the things that you need to do is you need to paint it so you think it's thoroughly painted. Then you need to paint it again so that you think there's too much paint on it. You really want this to be, thick so that we can get it to do the nice crinkle effect. And one of the things we're going to use is we'll then use a heat gun to help it along. So right now I'm just going to spray the orange.
So this is your base coat, Mark?
This is my base coat.
Okay.
And I'm just really applying it thick. So if it was vertical, it'd probably start running.
Now, do you need to wait till this dries?
No, everything's going to be wet.
Okay.
So right after I get done doing this, then I'm going to apply the crinkle coat.
Another little trick with spray cans is to put them in hot water. They spray a lot better, particularly with enamels and things like that.
Okay, I didn't know that. Thank you. So now we've got the orange on. Now I'm going to put on the black. We'll see how this does. Oh, you're kidding me. Maybe I'm going to put on the black. Oh, one of the things that this Montana paint does, they have this little washer that they put in here so that it doesn't spray. So if taking that off, now I'm going to spray this, and I'm just going to lay this on thick. Okay, so now what we're going to do, we're going to take the heat gun and we're going to heat it up. And you see it's already starting to crackle.
Oh, look at that.
Okay, that was worth the price of admission today.
Absolutely.
Another little trick with a heat gun, if you're going to use it for heating up things or blowing to try and get things to dry, is for the first minute or so, face it away from the work, because invariably they get dust in them.
True.
So you
true.
clear out the dust first.
Is there a
Now, one of the things that you want to watch, is as you add more heat, the lines start to get a little bigger, but you have to be careful that you don't create a big air bubble, because I did that on my first one and I blew all the paint off. So that's one of the hindrances that you have with doing this. But you can see that as we apply the heat, it's getting, the lines are expanding and they're getting more dramatic.
Is there a way to manage whether or not the cracks are bigger or smaller or wider, farther apart or closer together or smaller? You know what I mean?
If you don't use the heat and just let it naturally go, it's going to come more like in here, smaller. The heat gun makes it a little bigger, I think.
And then we go to here. There's some pretty good sized cracks on this.
Right. Well, that was done the same way.
Right.
Okay.
So now we're going to let this dry, and then I will overcoat that with lacquer. And then once that gets done, I'll then put it back on the lathe and scoop it out and sand it, and then finish the inside with sanding paste and amateur sheen or whatever tickles my fancy that day.
I see that you're doing the orange again to correct the orange issue with the hole in the center of the bowl.
Yeah, that was oops. That was to do that. So the next one that we're going to try is we're going to make a ribbon platter. So we're going to start out with, again, that's poplar. This is cherry. So I sanded this back to 240, and my instruction sheet is upstairs on my desk. And so I'm going to be going by memory, and hopefully I don't forget any steps. So what we're going to do is, as you can see, there's really like 3 different layers or depths of the ribbons. You do this in a reverse sequence. So in essence, the first, you put in the lightest color, then you go to the next. So we're going to be spraying first the yellow, then we're going to be spraying orange, then we're going to be spraying red, and then we're going to be spraying purple to get this. And here I've used stencils to get in the, the pattern on the ribbons. So the first thing we want to do is come over here.
Mark, where'd you get the stencil from?
Okay, I've gotten stencils 2 or 3 different places. I've gotten stencils from, can you put that over there?
Yep.
I've gotten them at Michael's. I went to Joann's, and I don't remember if I bought it or not. I don't need this one either.
Yep.
Then I bought a bunch off of the internet. So speaking of stencils, you can get all kinds of different ones. So here's one that's for wood, like for wood grain. Here's just different patterns. And these came in like a pack of 10. All of these that I'm showing you here. So are you guys able to see this?
Yes.
So I think this one's kind of interesting. I haven't figured out how to use it, but I like it. So here's, there's all kinds of different stencils. Then I got a different pack, and it has different arrangements. I think this one looks kind of neat.
I like the leaf cell one too. That's got possibilities.
Oh yeah, there's all kinds of different possibilities. Let your imagination run wild.
Snakeskin.
This one looks, interesting too. So then, then these two, as you use them, you get stain on them and you can wipe them off. But these are the two I'm going to be using today. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to mount this back on the, you could do this all not on the lathe, and forgot something. You want to protect your lathe. So this is my fancy protector. A piece of cardboard.
Yeah, but just think of all the fun colors you get on your lathe.
Oh yeah, that's true.
It looks like, yeah, you've got a few colors on your
Okay, so I tightened this up. No, I didn't. I just untightened. So the first thing I'm going to do is, and you could do this with one spray gun, or you could have multiples. I bought a set, and yesterday I was trying them, and 3 out of the 8 are not spraying. So, just like anything, you have to maintain your tools. So I know what I need to do. I need to put on gloves because this is going to get messy. So I'm using a siphon feed. Can I turn it on? No? Help if I turn the compressor on. So that's why all these colors are. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to spray on yellow. Then what I want to do is I want to, with black.
Mark, are those dyes that you're using?
I'm using the stains, spirit stains from
Chestnut.
the apprentice stains from Craft Supply. This black happens to be from chestnut. But yeah, they're stains versus dyes. So thinking about the way that I'm going to be applying this, I'm going to be. Could you get the?
Cindy, this works with standard airbrush paints too.
So first,
okay, great, thanks.
Tape that I'm going to be putting on is the one covering up the yellow. Then I'm going to do the orange, and then the reds. So I want to try to put in, to make it a little more interesting, so it's just not a plain color. Put in these stencil lines. So I'm going to take this stencil, and I want to put like a line of tape here, here, and there. So like that. Now, if you go close, if you put the stencil on and not move it, if you hold it away, you see how it's more dispersed, shadowy. Whereas if you hold it right on, it's more distinct. There's that. Now what we want to do is...
And you don't need to wait very long for it to dry?
No.
Okay.
You just want to make sure that when you're putting it on, that the tape sticks.
The spirit
so
stain,
now,
when the spirit stain going on is an alcohol-based stain. So it's going on in a very light skin that dries almost instantly.
Okay.
Yeah, that's true. Thank you, Matt.
Yep.
Now I'm using, I got this tape from Blix because I was looking for smaller tape. This one was, like the 1-inch painter's tape, the blue stuff. On this bigger platter, we're fine, but being this is a smaller one, I wanted to have the ribbons a little smaller.
If you haven't got your microphone muted, please do so. Thank you.
So I'm just trying to make sure that the tape gets down firmly. Now thinking about where, after I get done, this one might be just a smidgen too far in. I think I'm going to move it back a little.
Mark, is that 3/4 inch tape?
Yes. Well, it's really just a smidgen over 5/8. I was trying for 3/4, but I couldn't find any. So now at this point, what I want to do is take my black again. And what I want to do is I want to highlight it. Did I get them all? I think so. So now, the next color I want to go with is orange, but my orange gun wasn't working. So now I'm just going to switch colors. So now we've got orange coming out. So now, if I want to put in, I can also, instead of using the black, I can also, put in with, some stencils with the same color. So can you see that, Tim?
Mm-hmm. Sure.
So you can see how we've got this little like the leopard print. So that will be enough of this.
Now, Mark, you didn't have to do the tape like that, right? You could have done it randomly in strange and sundry directions. It could be anywhere.
That is correct. It's
okay.
It's poetic, artistic license. Whatever tickles your fancy at the time.
Thank you.
So, if you wanted to make, I've always wanted to try doing a plaid, but I just haven't quite figured out how to, highlight all of the overs and unders, get that pattern. So I haven't done that. Now,
they weave, buddy. You got to do them one at a time. They weave back and forth, remember?
Yeah, and
you have to look at it.
You have to figure out how to do that. So now I'm going to put on my second layer of tape. You want to make sure that it's stuck down because it'll bleed underneath. Oh, this isn't
sticking.
Not sticking real well. So we're going to help it dry. Okay, that's stuck down a lot better. Nice thing about having wooden walls, you can put nails wherever you want, or whatever you want to do. So now at this point, what I want to do is I want to put, I want to do the black shadowing again on the second layer of tape. And I'm not the world's greatest airbrusher. So now we want to do red.
Hey, Mark, I noticed you're applying your colors very light, and that's something I noticed when I'm doing airbrushing. It's very important. Less is usually better, because you find out if you keep applying the stain or the dye, whatever, before you know it, it's too dark and, you know, it's overpowering.
Agreed, that's true.
Yeah.
Okay, so now we're into the red. So now I want to put in some red. And, you know, I want to put in some more color and some more. Okay, so one of the things that happens when you use these is they get all messy. So you can clean them up by just rubbing them on. And you see I've taken off a lot of the stain.
You can quickly
That's
dip
how
them
you
in.
clean your stencil.
You can quickly dip them in methylated alcohol, methylated spirits or DNA if you're using spirit
Okay,
stains.
do that too, because these
Yep.
do. And you see that this one has dried, so it's not coming off. So after if I spray it again, then I would be able to rub it off like I did on this one, and it would come much cleaner. So at this point, now what I want to do is I want to put in some more tape lines so that I can then, then I want to put in my other one. So let's just go, need to dry it a little so that the tape sticks.
Okay, no one's made the joke. So I'm going to, Mark. This is like watching stain dry.
Yes, it is. So now we want to just, put these in wherever we feel. Maybe one here. The hardest part of this thing is working with this tape and the gloves. Maybe one more right here. So now at this point, I'm going to go back with the black to outline it. I think I'm done. So now, at this point, now I want to put on my last color, which is going to be purple. Stop. So there we have it. Dry it off, and then we can start removing the tape. See what we've produced. Oh, heck with it. I need my fingernails.
So what is a good heat gun for this?
I just got one from the hardwares. This came from Harbor Freight. But before that, I used to fly radio controlled monoplanes. Mm-hmm. So I was using the little top coat heat gun that I used to shrink the monofilament with. Okay. So, you know, it doesn't really matter, whichever you happen to have.
Will a hairdryer do it?
Yes, a hairdryer would work just fine. So here we go.
Very cool. Very, very cool.
So there you go. And so at this point, what I would do is let it dry, coat it with lacquer or some sort of a protective finish, then come back in and use my gouge and clean out the bowl part and finish it. So this is what we just did. So this is, they come out a little different each time, but you can see how we started with the top layer, then we went to the second, the orange layer, and then we went to the third, the red layer, and then putting on the purple, darkened the background. So you're really doing it, applying it in reverse order, but when you look at it, I think it gives a pleasing effect. Any questions?
That's really cool.
That's a really cool effect. I've seen Stuart Farini do that. I follow Stuart Farini on YouTube.
Yeah, and that's exactly where I got it.
Yeah.
I watched him and tried it.
Do you ever notice he uses the same platter and bowl?
Yeah, quite frequently.
Yeah. They got to be pretty thin when he gets done with them. But yeah, beautiful work there. And for the people who are interested in this, Stuart Farini's channel on YouTube, he's got hundreds of videos out there on this and many other effects with color. Just master. I do have one quick question for you. I noticed you're using siphon type airbrushes. Do you like that better than gravity?
You don't have to use siphon type.
Okay.
I just preferred to use those because, if you use the, I have a Grex with, top feed, and you can, you can pour them in each time. It works just fine. You don't need to have multiple ones. It was just, I wanted to change colors rapidly, not have to deal with cleaning it out. When I'm going from a lighter color to a darker color, I don't have to. I can just keep pouring the color right into the, into the little hopper, and it's fine. But if you're going from a darker color to a lighter color, then you need to clean out your airbrush because it'll contaminate it. So that's why I chose to buy that cheap, well, I think it was $100 for all 8 of those airbrushes. But it made it easier to just swap one out from the other.
Are they Harbor Freights?
No, these are master. I got those off of Amazon, and I'm positive of it.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was looking, there were 8 in a set.
Oh.
I believe you can get, from Harbor Freight, you can get one airbrush, but with different siphon bottles. So you don't need to have a separate gun for each bottle. You just change the bottle from underneath. And I think they have, I don't know, 5 or 6 different bottles you can use.
Yeah, I think I'm going to go over there and get some more because I've got 4 or 5 other colors that I want to have, and I don't have bottles from. So that'd be a good solution.
Yeah.
Today is the end
Marker.
of 30% off at Harbor Freight.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mark.
Also, what I noticed with dyes, you really don't have to clean the brush because the next time you use it, if you put a bit of DNA, it's gonna melt right away and it starts running real good. It's not like when you're using, the paint, you have to clean and make sure because it dries into the tube, then you're in trouble. But with dyes, that's what I noticed, for other people who wants to use dye, you don't have to go through all that process of making sure it's perfectly clean. You can just run a bit of alcohol in it. And if there is still some dye, next time you put alcohol, it's going to melt it right away.
That's true. It does. So one of the things that, somebody said something?
Yeah, Mark, are those dyes diluted at all? Or are they straight out of the bottle?
They're straight out of the bottle. So being that I'm in a confined area, I want to, exhaust these fumes out. So what I did is I took a bathroom ceiling exhaust fan and it was a side mount, thin. So if you want to come over here, Tim. So if you see,
right.
And then I plumbed it going outside so that instead of, hooking it up to a switch, I opted to hook it up to just put a plug in because I have receptacles easily. So I normally will have this running, but because of the noise that it makes, I opted not to. But typically when I'm doing this, I'm wearing a respirator, and these are the ones that have the charcoal filters in it, so it's it's rated for the fumes and the paint. And between this and that, it works fine.
Did someone say Harbor Freight has a sale today?
They always have a 20%.
Well, no, today is the end of their 30% off sale.
Oh.
Yeah. But they've always got a coupon for 20%.
They're not printing those coupons anymore.
When I go to Harbor Freight, I just pull out my phone and I search on Harbor Freight coupon and pull it right up. And they just scan it right off my phone.
Yeah, they don't even text you coupons anymore like they used to.
Yeah, I think it's all online.
Yep. So
that's all I've got for for decorations.
Okay. Well, thank you, Mark.
Demo, Mark.
Great demo, Mark. Thank you so much.
Now, I do want to say the plan is for next Saturday's workshop is Mark's going to be on hand to answer any questions or anything that you may have about this technique, any of the techniques he demonstrated today. So if you can be in your shop and you're working on something, that would really help. If we end up not having a lot of questions about it, then we'll turn the workshop into a tool talk and finish it out that way. Does that sound good, Mark?
That's fine.
Okay.
Well, that's 10 to 12, right?
This is Saturday 10 to 12, right?
Yes, Saturday 10 to 12. I'll have the link out by midweek.
Okay.
So thank you very much. If you guys can highlight me.
The demo, Mark.
Mark.
Thank you.
There you go, Jeff.
Okay. Great. Get my notes here. So that takes care of our demo. I'm looking forward to next week. Hopefully we've got some folks out there with the paint and the equipment that are going to give this a try. It's a really cool effect. And it's actually, if any of you are Van Halen fans, Eddie Van Halen's most famous guitar had that effect done with tape and so on. And
okay, I didn't know that.
Yeah, that's how it was done. And I was just reading recently that may be going up for auction. And if it does, they're talking about it could start out about $2.5 million, lowest bid. So
I won't be bidding.
Yeah,
maybe we can pool our money.
well, there's only one. There's only one of those. Okay. Well, anyways, so our next item is going to be, I do want to talk about something. I didn't have it on my notes for earlier, and Chuck reminded me. If you don't already know it, our treasurer, Chuck Labato, is running for the AAW treasurer position. So if he gets it, he'll be a member of the national board. And it was a pleasure to write a letter of recommendation for him. Very proud of him. And I'm keeping my fingers and toes crossed for him, and we should know in October. Chuck is not allowed to campaign, so he's not talking too much about it. But that's where we're at right now. He is going through the interview process. He's already been through numerous interviews, and he's got numerous to go. So I
made it. Thank you for the letter, Jeff. I appreciate it. I made it through the initial interview process where they screen however many people down to the number of candidates who will make it into the final contest. So I have made it to a candidate position. So
yeah.
So I interviewed with Jeff Brockett from the Tennessee Association. He's a board member. Nick Cook. I think Matt knows Cheryl Lewis. And the current treasurer is Joe Dickey. So I made it through. Joe called me Monday and told me I was a candidate. Now I have to do, because there's no symposium this year that's live, I have to do a number of videos, so my hair will get cut, video interviews now for the website, and then I have to write a better bio than I sent in.
Excellent.
Excellent. Chuck, I hope you get it. That'll be cool.
You got everybody here rooting for you, my friend.
I will be the first person to be a board member from Michigan in over 20 years.
Really? Wow.
The last one was Lyle.
Yeah, I was going to say, I thought the last one was Lyle.
Yeah. That was a while ago.
So we need some representation, because I'm sure you've seen the board is made up of people like the Carolinas and heavy in Tennessee and things like that. So
there's also some Minnesotans on the board too, isn't there?
Too.
Yep.
Yeah. Excellent.
Yeah.
So glad to hear it. So, okay, on to our tool review. I'll get everybody started. I've got 2 tools I want to go through. During the social hour, Dave Meyer mentioned that he got a little Wizard metal detector for checking his wood. And about a year and a half ago, I had a log of maple given to me. And I cut it in half, and I started turning it, and I got a catch, and it pulled my good cryo bowl gouge right out of my hands. And it flipped over behind the dust collector and really tore up the edge on it. And it had an 8-penny nail in it. Right after that, I went out and I bought this. This is the same metal detector that they use in courthouses. It's the Pile Secure Scan. And one of the guys one of the security guards at the courthouse recommended this to me. Believe it or not, it's only $30 on Amazon, and it works really well. We've got some of that wood recently, or a while back, from that mausoleum. I had a 4x4 plank that was just full of nails, and there was a couple spots where the nail head had broken off over the years, and the nail wasn't visible anymore, and this found them, so saved me. But you know, it's real sensitive, and it detects down to 6 inches. So if you go around if you got a whole log and you go around it, you're going to pretty much cover everything in the 6 inches deep. Then as it gets narrower, you can rescan it for in the center. Works really good. I highly recommend it. The other thing I got is, as many of you know, I've been playing around with segmenting, and the Segi sled that I build, I didn't do a good job with it, and I didn't build it out of the proper materials, and it started moving and doing things like that, and I started having a lot of problems with my segments. So I am in the process right now of building a new Segi sled. This is all made out of MDF, based on the design that came off the internet by the gentleman who created this whole thing. So all I've got left to do on it is to put the runner on it to fit down into the miter slot, and then I'm going to try it out and get back into segmenting. I haven't done segmenting in a while because I was very unhappy with my sled. So hopefully that will take care of it. So that's my 2 tools. Anybody else got a tool to review? Make sure you turn off your microphone and let us know who you are so we can highlight you. Anybody?
That looks like a solid no, Jeff. I'm afraid.
Yes, it does. It does. Okay, we'll move on to the next thing then, which is the tool raffle. At present time, we've sold about 24 tickets. We need to sell 40. So, you know, I've sent out notice by email and encourage you to get your tickets. And I've said this before, it doesn't have to buy, you don't have to buy just 1 ticket. You can buy 2, 3, 4. The last item that we did, the John Jordan turning tools, we've had people buying 5 and 6 tickets. That's okay. You're just getting yourself more chances. So the link is in the members only section of our Facebook page, or I'm sorry, our website. Go in there, and for every ticket you want to buy, you'll have to click on the link for it, and you can buy a ticket. Cindy, do you have that on hand to show it off?
I do not. Sorry.
Okay. So it's a Longworth chuck. We've showed it numerous times, and I'll tell you what, I've got one of the early ones that Cindy made, and they're fantastic. They're just absolutely fantastic. I hardly ever use my cold jaws anymore. So who knows? That might be something for sale. I don't know. So anyways,
I'm going to upgrade the winner to a 15-inch instead of a 12-inch. If their lathe will take it free of charge.
Oh, awesome. See, more incentive to buy tickets. So get onto the website and buy tickets. And as soon as we hit 40, we will raffle it off at one of our meetings. Hopefully the next meeting. That would be great. So
Cindy's stuff is well made. I have the steady rest.
Yeah, I've got the steady rest also. It's amazing.
I was not expecting it to open so you could slide it in and all that.
That's a great feature, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep.
Thank you, guys.
So that's it for that. So we're on to our Facebook challenge. Let me get my list out here. I've got far too many things here. We've had 27 people qualify for the Facebook challenge. So I am going to set my random number checker to 27. I'm going to get this up here and hit the button. Number 18 is the winner. Let's take a look. Number 18 is Glenn McCullough. You're winning a certificate from Craft Supply.
That was a nice piece. I really liked it. Very nice, Glenn, if you're on.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
A lot of great stuff being posted. I'm telling you, it's just, but yeah, so Glenn, you'll get a gift certificate so you can spend $200-300 at Craft Supply, because that's what you end up doing anyways. So that's the Facebook challenge. Now we're at the President's Challenge. I do want to say we are not going to give away a certificate for the President's Challenge because John Jordan is offering a set of small tools of your choice, 1/2 inch or 3/8 inch, as a prize for your President's Challenge. And all you have to do is contact them and tell them that you're with the Detroit Area Wood Turners, you are the winner of the President's Challenge, and tell him which set you want, and he will get that off to you. So I'm going to reset this. We had a total of 18 people that qualified. And by the way, for those of you who put in the description of how you oriented the wood, like John asked you to do, thank you for doing that. The reason John wanted that done was not so much that he had to see it. He wanted that done so you could help teach others. And so by posting that information, you help teach us how to do that. And that's what that's all about. So thank you very much. So I've reset this to 18. And I'm going to hit the randomizer button. 13. The winner is Ken Kernicki, who's not even with us today because he's off at a foot. So Ken Kernicki is the winner of the John Jordan Smalt Halloween set.
I think it was good to see people took it seriously and made it improve. I don't know if it improved everyone's turning, but it appeared to be everyone's stuff looked exactly like John wanted it.
Right.
Yeah, you know, and that was a subject matter too that I think we all deal with, and I saw some people that posted and did a really nice job, and it's better than a lot of the stuff that they posted before. I mean, better looking, balanced and everything like that. So, you know, that was not only a great demo, but it really got us thinking about how we orient. And we've talked about that in the past. We've had other demos and everything like that, but it's something that we always got to think about because many of us, we're selling this stuff and we want it to catch the customer's eye or the potential customer's eye. And that's a big part of it. So thank you to everybody who took part.
I was amazed at how much I was already doing this, just from constant exposure, you know. And, I mean, it's just I consciously do it, but I also unconsciously do it. That was interesting.
And I think that's the idea of it. It's like anything, you know, you practice something enough, it becomes second nature. You don't think about it anymore. So yeah, I do think about it more. Now I've got some of my wood I can't do it with, but I try as best I can. So yeah, that's the whole idea. We're just becoming better turners because of it. So, okay, show and tell. I got a couple things, hold on. I have to be careful because these are items that have sold already. Some of you saw my Facebook posting a couple weeks ago where I showed 4 bowls that I just put out on Etsy. These are all bowls that I just recently finished. This is one of them. This is, I think you remember that sugar maple log I got. This is one of the 4 bowls. This is, oh, I'm sorry. This is not sugar maple. This is Spalted Ambrosia maple. I'm sorry. I had something else on my mind. This is a piece of Spalted Ambrosia maple. Maybe my last piece. I don't know if I've got any more left, but this just sold. The lady really loves the lines in it. And she was kind of blown away when I told her that was a beetle that did that. She was, can you use it for food? Well, you can put fruit and stuff in it if you want. I don't recommend it, but it's a showpiece. But anyways, so that was that. And this is a piece that was one of those 4 bowls. This is a piece of sycamore that I got. And I just love sycamore for this vein. You know, you just, even in pen blanks, you get it. Came out very nice. And this I'm dropping off to the person who purchased it tomorrow. So that's my show and tell. Anybody else got anything? Unmute your mic and let us know your name so we can highlight you.
Jay McKee.
Jay, let's highlight him. I know what he's going to show off. There he is. Hello, Jay.
Hey, I've got some wood that was originally a part of a wooden bridge, and it's 400 years old. There you go. The black lines that are in it, they're actually where the water ran through the grain over time.
Oh, that's cool.
Isn't that gorgeous?
That is nice.
I actually got to watch him finish this Wednesday night.
Yeah, I haven't taken the tenon off, but yeah, pretty much done everything else.
Yeah.
There's a really big crack that goes right across there. So.
That is cool.
That is a cool bowl.
And I got, this is peppercorn.
Cool.
Very nice.
This was wet when I did it. Still a little bit wet now. It's not too bad. And I've been using, I've been colouring a little bit. I don't mind colouring, so I like the demo. That was pretty good. I've been using these. They're actually, see if it'll show it. It's a blank pen, so I can put my own dye or whatever in there. They're pretty cheap. They're on Amazon. Robert Elliott has looked them up on my live yesterday for you guys, but earlier on for me.
Yeah.
They work really good.
They're also available at Hobby Lobby here in the U.S.
Yeah. And I have also seen them, you can get them with different tips as well, different size tips. They work really good.
There's an online store outside of Ann Arbor that sells them for us locally. It's called, oh shoot, I'll put it in the chat.
Okay.
That's what they're called here.
Perfect. And you use dye in that rather than paint?
Yeah, I used cosmetic dye. I diluted it. I just 1-to-1 ratio.
Okay. Excellent.
Yeah.
Thank you, Jay.
No
Anybody? Huh? Oh, okay. Anybody else?
I got something. It's
Okay,
Alfred.
that's Alfred.
Yeah.
He's always doing some masterpieces over
there. You know, I've been playing around with these bird's mouth, and this is the last one I just did. This is black willow, and this is, if you see the bark on both sides, so that's how thick the log was, this thick, then, you know, the diameter. And the log is held between centers from here to here. So it's actually the log, which is lengthwise, it's turning like that when you're turning it. And that's why you see the pit in there and the other pit on this side. And these are very, very fun to do. It's kind of hard to start to imagine it, but once you do one, it's really easy. The hard part is getting in here that tight. I like to get them tight. You can make this elevated, but you know, I like to get them tight like that. And that's true. It's a bit harder to get that. You know, you need very acute angle on your tools, and so that's one. And I wanted to keep the bark on this one. You know, it gives it more of a character. This is another one, so you can see this different size. This is actually cherry. And again, that's how the log went, like that. And they're all 1/4 of an inch thick all the way through. And just for size comparison, this is the third one that I did. This is maple. But they're a lot of fun to do. You know, like this is the first one that I did. If you see, the gap is wider here. So this is a lot easier to do than this one.
Alfred, what tool are you using to get in your crevice there?
I used a 1/4 inch spindle gouge. Actually, it's a detail gouge.
Yeah, so
and I ground it to about 20 degrees.
Okay, thank you. Exactly. Okay, thank you.
Yeah, but you have to be real careful because it can get very grabby. As soon as you get off that bevel, you know, you watch it. Or else you can get a scraper and you know, grind it just for that idea. But if you're using a detail gouge, which is, you know, not as grabby as a spindle gouge because it's so thick and, you know, it's so shallow there. But it's not hard to do, you know. But
thank you.
So,
okay,
cool.
Alfred, when you hollowed that out,
Yeah.
just inside the mouth, did you use a gooseneck hollower?
Yes, I did. What I did, I used the, what did I use? Yes, I did. And I used high speed, but actually a 1/8 diameter. And I went all the way through with a gooseneck here. And I used the arm brace.
Okay.
On it. And on this, it doesn't really matter because they're shallow. They're not that. This is about, I would know, about 6.5 inches here. But if they were deeper, then I think I used a 5/8 diameter, but if it's deeper, I'm going to use at least a 3/4 inch so you don't get the vibration.
Yeah. Oh, so you have the John Jordan hollowing system?
No, I have the Lyle Jameson that
Oh,
I made.
Lyle Jameson. Okay.
Yeah. But
Okay.
that arm brace, you can do so much with it. You know, that's the one that you hold like that and it goes around your elbow here. I mean, you can control it so easy. Because I move my headstock and I work off the end, so then I can really control, you know, because I can use my whole body to do it. I'm not like this when you're working from the side.
Yeah.
So, and just this, I just showed this one just to show the, you know what Jordan was showing us how to do the set it up right in the middle of the end grain, Well, I did. I actually counted. When I did this the first time, I actually counted the growth rings to get it there, and then you balance here, here, and also this way, you know. So it's fun, and especially this one because it's got the red stain in it. You know, it kind of makes it more, you know, it shows better than if there was no grain on it.
Yeah.
That's all I got.
Beautiful pieces, Alfred.
Thank you.
Okay, anybody else?
Yep, I got one.
Who was that?
Matt Harbour.
Okay, there he is.
A week and a half ago at the Wednesday night free meeting at worldwidewoodturners.org, which you can just go and click on the link. I did the demo for the three corner bowl or the 3-point bowl. So it's made out of a cube. Okay, this is a piece of sycamore.
That's nice.
And this just has a single coat of sanding sealer on it. And I showed how to do it. This is not like the standard way that a lot of people do it, which is like this, okay? But this one I did with I added a little foot to it and made it shallower and so on. So.
Oh, that's cool.
Bowling ball on it.
Very nice.
Yep. Or you could, if you're making big globes or whatever, it's a great stand, or to hold change or whatever.
Oh.
But you've got a lot of flexibility with these. You don't have to stick to a, single shape. So, anyway.
Thank you. Thank you. Anybody else? Don't forget to unmute if you're muted. Going once, going twice. That's it for show and tell. So let's open it up to its question and answer time. If you're working on something, you're having some issues, or you got some questions for us, this is your 10 minutes to do it. So if you got any questions, let us know. State your name so we can highlight you.
This is Lowell.
Hi, Lowell.
Just tried, I was hoping to get this in with our demonstrator. I just tried with the white liming wax on black last week and it didn't come out. I'm just wondering what I might have done wrong or.
Typically what you need to do with the liming wax is you've got to have either figure or texture for it to go into. So what did you use as a base coat? What did you do to the wood before you put the wax on?
Well, I think I had the black, what do you call it? And I put maybe a finish over it, a black gesso, and then I put, I think, was probably over that.
That might have been your problem.
Yeah.
Gesso fills in the crevices, fills in the you know, if you're going, let's say you use a piece of oak, okay? Oak has got that wide grain, that you know, open grain, and it takes the waxes very well, okay, because of the open grain. But if you then put gesso on it or spray it with lacquer or whatever, you're filling in those the open grain pits and so on that will take the wax. So it no longer takes the wax, if that makes sense.
Well, I had a pattern that I had put into the wood.
I've got a piece here that I did black gesso on. Let me switch to me here. I did black gesso on this, and then I did texturing on top of the black gesso. So I created this texture here on top of the black gesso, which I then filled in with this electric blue embellishing wax. Okay, but the texture was created for the wax. So you've got to have the crevices and the holes and so on, or the wax, whether it's lining wax or embellishing wax or whatever, it needs to have some place to go into, okay?
Yes, I had a texture put into that. I think I used the one tool.
Do you have the piece, Lowell? Can we see the piece?
I'm not sure. It's upstairs, downstairs right now.
Okay.
Matt, what did you use to texture it after you put the gesso on?
No, that's just the Sorby tool.
Well, I used it before, but
Gesso fills in the crevices so the wax doesn't go in.
well, there was still crevices.
Okay, I don't know.
You'll see the pattern fine.
Hey, Lowell, after you textured it, did you put any sanding sealer on it? Did you finish it?
Yeah, I think I used polyurethane maybe.
Okay, if the crevices were deep enough that they will absorb any liming wax or whatever you're gonna put in there, it has to be finished, and then you put the liming wax, then it's gonna dry, and then you're gonna rub it, but not along the grain. If it's turning, you have to rub it across the grain, otherwise you're gonna pull it out. What was happening to what you did? What happened?
Well, I put it on, I let it dry. I forget if I let it dry even overnight or just an hour or something. And
overnight is too long. It has to be, if you leave it dry too long, then you're gonna have to use oil on the rack. Do not use paper towel because that's gonna pull it out. It's too abrasive. Like Mark was showing, I use a t-shirt, you know, something like that, cotton, and you just rub it across and it pulls it right out. But what I was saying about finishing it is otherwise the glitter or the liming wax is gonna show in every imperfection that you have. The liming wax, I think you let it dry too much and then you were rubbing it in to try and take it off, and that's how you pulled it out. Did it pull out of the texturing? Did the liming wax pull out?
To me, it looked like it was just plain clear paste wax after I did it.
Yeah, I think most probably you did not have the wood finished enough. Basically, that it's really, really smooth. And then when you use polyurethane on it, it will make it perfectly smooth. And then when you put the liming wax and you try and take it off, where it's smooth, the liming wax will come off because it's not being absorbed. And it will only stay in where there is the divots through texturing or whatever you're using. So if you show us the piece, maybe we can kind of, you know, show you better what the problem might have been. What do you think, Matt?
Yeah, you might be right, Alfred. I've had that happen where the liming wax, where I put like a sanding sealer on the texture or oak or something, and put liming wax in, and then turn the lathe on, and it just comes right back out too after I let it sit too long. So you might be right about that's what's happening. Yeah, you have to be really careful. Alfred's exactly right with the paper towel. It's abrasive. It will pull the wax out of the holes or the textures. If it doesn't, if you let it dry, I mean, ideally what they say to do is you put the wax on and then you rub it off.
That's how I do it.
Yeah, so that you're not rubbing down into the textures, you're rubbing across the textures, like Alfred said, because you don't want to pull the wax out. If you're running with the grain or rubbing with the grain or along the textures, like on this piece that I did with the slots in here. Let me switch back over here. If I had rubbed along these grains, I'd have just pulled this wax right out. And I think that the first time I tried this, I did pull the wax out, which is how I learned that.
Yeah.
So you've got to when you're rubbing, you've got to make sure you're coming across this and lightly, so you're not pulling the wax out of the created textures, if that makes sense. And then you've got to seal it so before it all dries.
Laura, did you find it hard trying to take the wax off?
I mean, because I couldn't really see it. I mean,
were you rubbing really hard to take it off?
Tightness to it when I was putting it on.
Yeah, well, when you put it on, you're gonna cover everything with whatever color you're gonna put, and then once you really don't have to let it dry too long. I usually leave it maybe half an hour and then just work on it across the grain, like Mark was showing. He did it right away, and you don't need to let it dry at all.
Yeah, Mark showed it in the demo exactly.
You put it on and take it off right away. But as everybody's saying, the important part is not to work with the grain. You have to work across the grain. Don't use paper towel. Use a piece of cotton, or terry cloth, and make it into a ball. And you just rub across the grain, and it should all come out.
Does it show up white when you're putting it on?
When you're putting it, yes. When you're putting it on, you're gonna cover the whole thing, the whole plate. Wherever you want the texture to stay, you're gonna cover it completely.
I just had a small pattern on the bottom. I was trying to do.
Well, yeah, as long as you cover the area where the pattern is, but don't try to cover only in the crevices in the texturing. Cover the whole area where texturing is, and then rub it. But don't have to wait. If you wait too long, you might have that problem. Then you're working too hard to try and take it off, and it's easy to pull it out of the texture.
I got another piece to show here. This is also liming wax. This is black liming wax. This is an older piece of I don't know, scrap maple or something I found in the shop. But you can see where it's in the wood grain here too. Okay, but when I wiped it in the pattern, and then I wiped across it to make sure I didn't pull it out of the crevices, if that makes sense.
Yeah, you need to try it again, Lo, and and
okay, thank you.
Yep, and let us know how it goes, because I want to know too.
Yeah.
Okay, we got anybody else got a question? Need some help with something? Okay then. That pretty much sums up the meeting then for this month. Our next meeting is going to be on the second Sunday of the month rather than the third because of Father's Day. So it'll be on June 13th. We're working out the details right now on the demo, but as it stands right now, it's going to be Robbo from Australia teaching us. So I'm looking forward to that. And I expect to have more news for you on a home by next meeting also.
Hey, Jeff, one thing I'd like to point out about that day is that's the Sunday after Campbell's hands-on retreat.
Yeah.
I'll still be in Grand Rapids helping to dismantle stuff.
Okay. Well, I mean, yeah, there's not much we can do about it though.
Right. Okay.
So that's what was planned back at the beginning of the year. So
okay.
As a matter of fact, I'm coming home Saturday night, so I can do last minute preparations for the meeting. So, but I look forward to seeing you there. As a matter of fact, I'll probably sit in one of your classes.
Okay. I'm not even sure what I'm teaching yet this year. So.
Oh, okay. I figured goblets would be in there.
Yeah, I think so. That's always well attended.
Yeah.
I may make them natural edge goblets this year. I don't know.
Oh, cool. Cool. Yeah, I'm just looking forward to the whole retreat.
Yeah,
it's going to be a lot of fun. So, okay then. So everybody, that's it. Good meeting. Somebody says.
President's Challenge.
Oh, President's Challenge would be something that Mark did today, highlighting a bowl or a platter using different paints and so on. Doesn't have to be airbrush. You can do it, you can watch Stuart Farini's channel and get some great ideas too.
Does it have to be a bowl or a platter?
No.
Thank you.
Let's say an item, a turned item. Turned item, let's make that clear. We are turners. So highlight it and embellish it in some way with paints, do something artistic with it, and get those posted on Facebook to qualify, and we'll take a look at them at the next meeting. Thank you for reminding me. So the brain is not working on 100% today, not that it ever does. So anyways, till next time we meet, hope to see you guys, some of you guys next Saturday, and stay safe wherever you go, stay safe in your shop, and as Captain Eddie says, just keep making shavings, and we'll see you next month. Bye.